Okay, good morning, everyone. We are streaming live via YouTube. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard, and I'm presiding over the criminal preliminary hearing calendar for this morning, January the 30th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. As I call either your client's name or your case name, please make any announcements at that time. The first case we have on the calendar is the state of Georgia versus Jeremiah Burner Simmons. Is the state ready?
The state's ready. I'm sorry, Judge. I apologize. I was looking at another case. That officer is actually on annual leave today. I'm not sure who represents the juvenile. I did send an email to the public defender's office on Friday when I learned that he has annual leave scheduled for today.
Okay.
Good morning. That case is assigned it's told.
Okay.
There's a co-defendant in that case, Judge Chase Phillips.
Attorney Rutherford had that case.
Okay.
So, Judge, I'm not sure if Mr. Toes was given the link. I don't see him on the Zoom call at this time, but the state would be asking that the case be rescheduled. The officer did have leave put in for today.
Okay, Ms. Berry, were you aware that Toles was representing the defendant in this case?
No, I was not.
Okay. So we'll have to continue the case. Cheryl, you're looking for a 2-week continuance?
Yes, I will be looking for a 2-week continuance. I'm sure Attorney Rogers is going to object with Chase Phillips, but I would ask that both cases be scheduled together.
Okay.
And yeah, I would simply affirm the
objection.
Yes, ma'am. So I would move to dismiss for warrant of prosecution.
Is the officer the same in Phillips' case as well?
Yes, they're co-defendants. It's Detective Holloway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe this is the first time, Attorney Rogers, this is the first time the Phillips case has been on my calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would be inclined to grant the continuance. And then is my understanding there are 2 other charges, and I believe they're misdemeanor charges on another calendar for Phillips.
Right, I think they're unrelated. I think they should probably be unrelated.
Right, Judge.
Okay. So, and those are scheduled for the 7th. So I'm going to go ahead and grant the continuance. Looks like that 2 weeks out would be the 13th of February. Is that correct, Ms. Mary?
That's correct.
That's right. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's both for Farmer, Simmons, and Phillips, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And I believe that's the only case we have for a juvenile. And if that's possible, the detention center, I would ask that they be excused.
Okay, so granted. Deputy?
All right. Yes, ma'am. I'm clear.
Okay, you heard the announcement?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, position 4, the state of Georgia versus Parnell Robert Brock. Is the state ready?
State's ready.
Your Honor, Mr. Brock has position 4 and 5. That is mine. We're going to have a hearing today.
Okay. I have 2 charges from Mr. Brock, correct?
Correct, Judge.
Position 6, state of Georgia versus Maurice Marcellus Brown. Is the state ready?
State's ready.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tiffany Pleasant for Maurice Brown. That'll be a hearing.
Okay, thank you. Position 10, the state of Georgia versus Jacor Butler. Is the state ready?
State's ready, and there's a case, Jalen
I'm sorry, sure you were breaking up. You said there was a co-defendant.
co-defendant in the case, Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
That's mine, Judge.
I'm sorry, who was speaking?
Good morning, Judge. John Majeski.
Oh, yes, sir. I believe you owe me a consent order.
I do, Judge.
Right, I've already, I let him know, Judge.
I remember people about giving my consent orders. Okay. And you're representing Mr. Johnson?
It's Miss Johnson, Judge. Yes, and we're going to be
Okay.
ready for that.
Are you gonna be, is that gonna be a hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And good morning, Judge. This is Stephen Byrne. I'm waving.
I see.
I represent Shakora Butler, and we're ready as well. It will be
Okay.
hearing.
Great. Okay.
Can we have a entry of appearance, please?
Yes, both attorney is Byrne and then attorney Majesty. Have you guys entered notice of appearances?
I did, Your Honor. This
My-
is Stephen Byrne.
My
Okay,
file
Vern.
showing we did as well, Judge.
Okay, did you file it electronically with the court?
Let me look.
If you have a copy, can you just shoot it out to Miss Mary?
Sure.
Because that'll be helpful.
Ms. Mary, can you put your address in the chat, and I'll shoot it over to you right away.
I'm gonna go right now.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're ready to go. And then the Jalen Johnson also is gonna be a hearing, correct?
Yes, Judge, those are co-defendants.
Okay. Okay, position 12 on the calendar, the state of Georgia versus Miles Butler. Is the state ready?
Judge, that was a bond previously done.
Position 14, the state of Georgia versus LaShonda Campbell Barnes.
Judge, the state is ready, I believe. I'm still trying to reach Detective Marco Cooper. This is one of the cases that it was supposed to be on the calendar, and then it was not on the calendar. And I let Ms. Mary know that it was supposed to be on the calendar today. She sent an updated calendar this morning, but for whatever reason, I don't know why it wasn't put on the calendar this morning. I don't know if a subpoena went out, but I have been trying to reach Detective Cooper. So we can just hold to the end of the calendar. Again, because yes, because it was supposed to be on this calendar, because I had asked for continuance before. We have Attorney Smith is on. I think Attorney Booker sent in a conflict for this morning, but I'm still trying to reach Detective Cooper.
Okay, I was aware of those facts. You're right, it should have been on the calendar and it was not on the calendar. So I understand that was on our end. Who's representing the defendant in the case?
I am, Your Honor, Frank Smith.
Okay, Mr. Smith. Okay. Oh, there you go, Mr. Smith. Okay.
All right.
Are you ready to go, Mr. Smith?
I am, Your Honor. This is the third time that the case has been on the calendar. I will also advise the court that Ms. Campbell Barnes has a bond hearing before Judge Scott today at 9 o'clock. And so I am juggling both of those. I am at the courthouse now, so it's easy for me to be able to go upstairs. But I wanted to make the court aware of that court appearance as well, since the deputies will have to get her upstairs for that in-person hearing.
Okay, and you said it's at 9?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Judge, I believe Attorney Booker had requested that this hearing if possible, go last because I believe he has to report, I think in Gwinnett on a trial calendar. And I indicated to him that I would not have an objection to that. And so that may work if Attorney Smith's client has to appear in front of Judge Scott at 9.
Okay, you said Booker. I thought he was on the Williams case.
That's the co-defendant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
So, Your Honor, I guess logistically, I'm not sure. I know that 88 Freeman has suggested it may work out holding this case to the end of this calendar. But as far as the deputies are concerned, I'm not sure how easy they may be able to maneuver to get her upstairs to have the bond hearing while we're waiting to come back for the preliminary hearing.
Yeah, I'm not aware if she's one of the individuals that they had to go and get. Let me see if someone can hear me at the jail. Deputy, can you hear me? Yes, Your Honor, we can hear you. Do you have inmate LaShonda Campbell Barnes? Hey, fight! Fight! Stop fighting! Okay, well.
Judge, why don't we just continue calling it and I'll call the jail while you're calling the calendar?
Okay.
All right, and then I'll let attorney, I'll message Attorney Smith.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Is that okay, Attorney?
It is.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Position 17 on the calendar, the state of Georgia versus Romel Antonon Canty. Stay ready.
Judge, that officer is on annual leave today through the end of the week, actually. He has a leave that was filed. And so we would ask if we can't get it resolved. I believe we can get it resolved, but if we can't, that it be rescheduled.
And yeah, that's my case. I'm gonna go ahead and move to dismiss for warrant of prosecution, just in case it is continued. But I will speak with Mr. Canty and Ms. Freeman to see what we can get worked out.
Okay. All right. So this is the first time this case is on my calendar. Has it been continued before, Attorney Rogers?
No, man, not to my knowledge, at least.
No, it's the first time on the calendar.
Okay, well, I will be inclined again to grant the continuance. So see if you can get it resolved. And if not, it will be continued.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Position 19, the state of Georgia versus Dorikius Carter. Is the state ready?
The state's ready.
Your Honor, Nicole Jones for Mr. Carter. He has 3 cases or 4 cases. He is agreeing to the bond amount that the state put for all 4 of the cases.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And that's something that still has to be submitted, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Position 23, the state of Georgia versus Martez D'Angelo Copeland. Is the state ready?
State's ready.
That was gonna be a hearing at last check, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Position 43, the state of Georgia versus Matthew Jerry Dyer.
Judge, the state's ready. That defendant is represented by Brandon Lewis. I just forwarded him the link, but he is in court in person. And he said he's hoping he'll be able to log on in about 30 minutes. And there is a co-defendant to that case, Michael Malone.
And this is Tiffany Pleasant. I represent Michael Malone, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so he's at position of 81 on the calendar, 81 through 85. Through 86, okay. Position 48 on the calendar, state of Georgia versus Dion Gaines. Is the state ready?
State's ready.
That probably will be a hearing on, but I'll speak to Mr. Gaines this morning just to double check.
Okay, thank you. Position 49, the state of Georgia versus Joel Lee Gillum.
The state's ready.
Your Honor, Chris Doles is assigned to that case.
And Judge, I know Attorney Toles sent me a message this morning, not too long ago. He's actually on a murder trial in Fulton County. And he's just asking his cases be continued. And so the state doesn't have an objection to that.
Okay. So is the 13th, will the 13th work or?
The 13th.
Do we need to
The
move?
13th will work for me.
That's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna reset that to February the 13th.
Judge, I will say that, so on Gillum's case, there are several co-defendants as well. And so I don't know if everybody has been assigned, but in addition to Gillum, we have Jawan Kelly, Jaquan Tucker, and Nicholas Hill.
Everyone has been assigned.
Okay.
So, Ms. Mary, can you find out what's the date for, I believe she said Juan Kelly?
No, they're on this calendar, Judge, but if they've all been assigned, again, if those cases can't be resolved, I would ask that they all be placed on the 13th calendar.
Your Honor, Nicole Jones, I represent Jawan Kelly. He wants a hearing. We would object to the 13th calendar. He wants a hearing.
Okay. I know Nicholas Hill has to be continued because of a conflict. I believe Attorney Schoolcraft is on that case.
Yes, Judge, and this is the first time they all been on the calendar.
Okay. And what about, who represents Mr. Tucker?
Brandon Lewis.
It's Brandon Lewis.
So he's not here.
Right, he's hoping to be on in about 30 minutes.
So we'll circle back around. Let's see here. So it looks like we definitely would have to continue Nicholas Hill. Do we have room on the calendar for the 13th, Miss Mary? That's on our calendar.
Well, the issue is if we're gonna put Gilliam on, we're gonna have to put all of them on there.
Yeah, so that's my question. Do we have room for all of them or no?
Well, yeah, but then we won't use the 13th anymore after this one.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm inclined to grant the continuous and put them all on the same date, Attorney Jones. So I'm gonna reset all those for February the 13th.
And just let me check with my officer. Officer Brock, is February 13th, are you available on that day?
I'm checking the calendar now.
Okay,
I believe I have Foresight training from February the 13th through the 17th, I believe. Let me check. I'm checking.
okay.
Yeah, so it'll be February 13th through the 17th, but anytime after that, I'll be free.
Okay, and Judge, will the court be open on the 20th? I know that's President's Day. I couldn't remember if that's a county holiday or not.
No, it looks like we have a calendar on the 20th. Is that correct, Ms. Mary?
Yeah, we don't get the President's Day off.
We have a calendar on the 20th. That'll
Okay.
be just Bridgewater calendar as of now. That could change, of course.
Okay, can we put these on the 20th, Judge, or?
Well, I know that I'm sure that Defense Counsel has some, let's see if they have any objections to the 20th.
Your Honor, I'll renew my objection to the 20th. I do understand that they are co-defendants. However, they're all individually charged in an incident. So Mr. Kelly can actually have his hearing today individually. It does not need to be, the hearing does not have to be together. He also has a bond hearing on 2/3. There's several issues with Mr. Kelly's case that holding him longer, even waiting for the 20th, might have some constitutional violations.
So it looks like the charge is pending against him. Let's see. Well, this is the first time he's been on my calendar.
It's the first time it's been on the calendar, Judge. He has one charge of aggravated assault.
Exactly. So okay, well, I'm gonna still be inclined to grant the continuance until February the 20th.
Thank you, Judge. And then if it's on the 20th, then his bond will be placed on that 24th calendar?
Yes, Cheryl, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Well, I don't know, Ms. Mary said for some reason, we don't have a calendar on the 24th. That's our training.
You don't have a bond calendar on the 20th?
No, that's our winter training.
They would have to be on that following Friday, which would be March 3rd.
Okay.
I don't know, in light of that, see here. I'm gonna go back and review the warrant. Cheryl, can you tell me why we can't do Kelly today?
Well, Judge, when I have a lot of the co-defendants, I like to do them all together, especially when they haven't been on the calendar but one time. And so if you're so inclined, Judge, I mean, I still would want to wait till at least Brandon Lewis comes on to at least do two of them if his client wants a hearing. But for efficiency, when we have co-defendants, instead of having the officer testify more than one time, we set them together so that it could be, just one hearing.
No, I understand that, but I guess my concern is that we are pushing this out until at least until the 20th, and then the bond hearing is not until March, because that's the earliest we could do it. So that would be my concern. So let me revisit that. We'll see, like you said, when Brandon Lewis, when he appears, we can have further discussion about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset Gillum, Tucker, and Hill to the 20th. And then I'm gonna reserve my decision on Kelly until we can speak to Attorney Lewis.
Okay. So say it again.
Reset at position 49, we're gonna reset Gillum
to the 20th.
Yes.
Okay.
Tucker,
Kelly, we're gonna wait.
Kelly.
We're
one
gonna wait
Kelly.
on.
Yes.
And what about Hill?
Hill, yes, because that's Attorney Schoolcraft case and he's already filed the conflict notice.
So we're gonna continue to Hill,
Yes.
and then we're gonna wait on Tucker.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
Tucker,
believe-
Yes.
Tucker's is represented by Brandon Lewis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you got it, Miss Mary?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll work through it. We'll work through it. Don't worry.
All right.
Position 50, we have the state of Georgia versus Tyron Demetrius Greer.
The state's ready.
Looks to be a hearing, Your Honor.
Position 58, the state of Georgia versus Brandy Nicole Greenwich.
State's ready.
Nicole Jones from Miss Greenwich, she has agreed to the fast track offer.
All right, I'll get that paperwork ready.
And Your Honor, if I can interrupt at the appropriate moment, this is Attorney Frank Smith.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Mary has informed me that the deputies would be able to get Ms. Campbell Barnes up to Judge Scott's courtroom and then bring her back when we finish with that hearing. So I was going to ask if I can be excused so I can report to Judge Scott with her.
Yes, Attorney Smith.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. We have next case on the calendar, the state of Georgia versus Nicholas Trevon Hill. That's position 59, Ms. Mary. That's going to be reset into the 20th.
Okay.
Position 60, state of Georgia versus William Hughley. Is the state ready?
The state's ready.
Your Honor, good morning. Ron Hood on behalf of Mr. Hughley, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hughley has decided to accept the bond offered by the state.
Okay, thank you so much. And so you're gonna submit, that has to be submitted to me, correct?
That's correct, Judge. At the end of the calendar, I'll prepare the paperwork and get it to Attorney Hood.
Okay, do you have any other cases on the calendar, Attorney Hood?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, would you like to be excused?
I
Or you
would,
would,
Your
you would like to
Honor,
sit in and observe?
No, thank you. No, thank you, Judge.
Okay, okay, thank you, Attorney Hood.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Position 64, the state of Georgia versus Jawan Jenkins. I think that was the co-defendant, right?
No,
That-
no, Jawan Jenkins, Judge, all those charges are misdemeanors. And it should be placed on the misdemeanor calendar. Mhm.
Correct. I believe, yeah, because I sent Ms. Mary a note about it last night, and I believe she's reset that.
Yeah, I'm gonna reset.
For
These for
February
next
the
week.
8th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, this is Lieutenant Brock, Clayton County Sheriff's Office. My apologies. Am I still needed?
Yes, Brock, I just sent you a message.
Okay, I'll stay clear. Thank you.
Mhm, thank you.
Position 66, the state of Georgia versus DeAndre J. Johnson.
Judge, I believe this defendant is still in federal custody unless Attorney Rogers has anything different.
No, I don't have anything different at the moment.
Okay, so we'll need to reset that. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Will
If
the
you want to
13th
reset it again for one of your calendars, you know, we keep placing them on the calendar just so he won't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, let's do that. So my next criminal prelim calendar.
The
Is
20th.
it 27? Is it the 27th?
No, the 20th. Well,
No, I have Bridgewater on the 20th.
On the new
Put
calendar, she said,
him on the
I have,
27th,
Okay.
Mary. Put him longer.
wait a minute. Hold on. I can't-
You say, I'm sorry, Ms. Davis, you had a comment?
No, I was suggesting to put him on a far out calendar since he's in federal custody. So we don't know how long it will take.
Okay, let's see here.
Judge, we're on the calendar for the 20th and the 27th.
Did that just change?
Yes, ma'am. So you want me to do the 27th?
But she said she wanted further out, so
That would be the 27th.
I think she said longer. So let's move to March.
I thought she said the 27th.
No, she was saying to move it out a little bit longer because we know he's still in federal custody. We just don't know how long. And we keep placing him on the calendar so he won't get lost in the shuffle. But I think you'll be safe to push him out at least to some date in March.
Yes, that's true.
Here's the issue with that. They keep changing the calendar. So I would rather put him on the 27th since it's our calendar. We can just move him again.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so let's move that. So we're gonna reset that to February the 27th.
Okay.
And then position 70, State of Georgia versus Jalen Johnson. I know the state is ready, correct?
Yes, Judge, that's what Attorney Majeski.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hearing. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Position 72, the State of Georgia versus Anthony Jamal Jones.
State's ready.
If we could hold on that one, yeah, we might be able to work out a bond on it though.
Okay. Position 74, the State of Georgia versus Jawan Gerard Kelly. Is the state ready?
Yes, that's the one we discussed that one, Judge. With
Yeah, that's
Nicole
right. You're right.
Jones. Uh-huh.
Okay. And then State of Georgia versus Anita Knight. That was a consent bond. Is that correct, Cheryl?
Yes, Judge, I'll be sending Attorney Rockwell the paperwork after the calendar.
Okay. And then position 81, the State of Georgia versus Michael Joseph. Is it Malou?
Oh, yes, Judge, the state's ready.
And Judge, I just need to pre-try that with my client.
Okay, thank you. Position 87, the State of Georgia versus Albert Franklin Mahou.
That person's out on bond.
Position 89, the State of Georgia versus John Roger Mitchell.
That was the bond previously done.
Position 90, the State of Georgia versus Saeed Abdul Muhammad.
State's ready.
And that'll be a hearing, Your Honor.
Then positions 91, the State of Georgia versus Chase Rashawn Phillips.
And Judge, that's what we discussed before. Yes.
Yes. And I believe we reset that one to the 13th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Position 98, the state of Georgia versus Walter Lee Price Jr.
State's ready.
Chris Toles is assigned to that case.
And Judge, again, Attorney
Yeah, so
Toles
yeah, he's in trial, yeah.
So we would ask that that be continued, and I'm not sure what date we're using. Because I know his co-defendant is doing a fast track.
So is the 13 available, Miss Mary?
No.
Okay, so we want to do the 15th?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Position 99, the state of Georgia versus Antonio Hakeem Reeves.
State's ready.
Your Honor, James Luttrell is assigned to that case.
Okay, James, last name?
Luttrell.
Okay, I don't believe he got notice, because I'm sure Miss Mary wasn't aware that he was assigned. Miss Mary, were you aware that he was assigned to the Reeves case?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So we'll revisit that. If he hasn't appeared by the time we have the hearings, then we'll reset that one. Position 100, state of Georgia versus Rafael Jose Riviera.
The state's ready.
Your Honor, that's my case. I need to speak to Mr. Rivera. He's been unavailable.
Okay. Position 103, the state of Georgia versus Brandon Charles Shorter.
State's ready.
Chris Toles also has that case.
And Judge, we would just ask that it be rescheduled. Chris Toles, she said, has that case.
Yeah, so we're gonna reset that to the 15th. Will that work, Ms. Mary?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Position 104, the state of Georgia versus Joshua Emmanuel Sims. State ready?
State's ready.
Your Honor, that is my case. Mr. Sims is in medical, so I need to pre-try it with him, and then I can update the court.
Okay, thank you. Position 105, the state of Georgia versus Matthew Charles Thurman.
State's ready.
Your Honor, that is my case, and I do need to pre-trial with the client. He was also unavailable.
Okay. Position 106, state of Georgia versus Jaquante D'Anthony Tucker. That's Brendan Lewis case.
That's
So,
correct.
yeah, so we'll circle back around to that one. Position 107, the state of Georgia versus Armand R. Williams. I believe Attorney Booker also submitted a conflict notice as well. Correct, Cheryl?
That's correct.
Okay, so can we reset that one for?
Judge, no, Armand Williams is the co-defendant to LaShonda Campbell Barnes with Attorney Smith. And so that's the one that Attorney Booker just asked if that could go towards the end of the calendar.
Okay, that's all. Okay.
Right, and we're still working to get Detective Cooper. That's one that was supposed to be on the calendar, but wasn't placed on the calendar. So I know the subpoenas didn't go out, but I've been trying to reach him since Friday.
Okay, so we'll take those last, correct?
Yes.
Position 110, the state of Georgia versus Jeremy Williams.
Just the state's ready. And also that was a case that was not initially on the calendar as well, but I did reach Detective Bouvar and she's on. But that was one of those that was supposed to be on the calendar, but for whatever reason was never placed on the calendar.
Okay, I was aware of that as well.
Okay.
Okay, you say you're still trying to get the officer?
Oh, the detective, no, she's on. I was able to reach her.
Okay, okay, great. And then who's representing the defendant?
I think that's Attorney Pleasant's client, but she was not aware about today because I was trying to see if he was on today's calendar. But he was continued to today, but I don't think it's on our list. So I'm not sure if he's ready for today. Attorney Pleasant?
Thank you, Ms. Davis. I will speak with him, Your Honor, and see if we're able to proceed this morning and update the court.
Okay, thank you. I believe that will conclude the calling of the calendar this morning. Is there anyone present that did not hear their name called, or if you have another party that name should have been called? Okay, it is one other defendant, I believe. Ms. Toles, the interpreter was here for. You said you indicated it was Jose Rivera. Is that correct, Ms. Toles?
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
That's my case. That is the case that I need to speak to Mr. Riviera. I have not been able to have access to him yet.
okay, what's my understanding? Let me see. I think he needs an has he requested an interpreter? Ms. Jones?
The jail
Okay.
has not given me access to even tell you the answer to that
Okay.
question.
Okay, because the only reason I asked is because Ms. Toles has she's required to be in Superior Court at 10. So let me see if he needs an interpreter, and then we'll go from there. Deputy, let me just go off the record. That's going to conclude the closing of the calendar this morning. So we'll give the parties an opportunity to see if they can work out any type of